Welcome to today's podcast. I'm your host Priya Thanki. We are excited to have Mr. Aditya Menon with us, a distinguished political journalist with over a decade of experience in covering some of the most pressing issues in India. From communal violence to regional politics, Mr. Aditya insights are invaluable in today's complex landscape. The challenges he has faced and his thoughts on the future of political journalism. Mr. Aditya, thank you for being here. How are you, sir?
All good. It's an honor to be here. Especially the fact that I'm from Baroda, and this is the biggest university here. So it's really an honor to come back here.
So, my first question to you is you have been in a political journalist for over 10 years. What initially drew you to this field and what keeps you motivated?
So I've been a political junkie since I was a child. I've always very fascinated. I think the way people, kids, they look at the World Cup and all things like that. So even elections, I used to really get very excited about. So that drew me towards politics and political journalism. But my entry into journalism is, of course, in very different circumstances. I had just finished my master's and I was in desperate need for a job. So I just took whatever job came my way. It wasn't planned as such.
Thank you for your answer, sir. So, my next question to you is your work focuses on a critical issues such as communal violence and regional politics. Can you share a particularly impactful story you have covered in these areas?
So communal violence, I think really big turning point for us was the 2020 Northeast Delhi violence. It was it was a very challenging assignment for us because it was happening right next to where I live and where many of my friends, colleagues live. And obviously it's becomes very personal. So how to prevent our personal uh, emotions from coming into a reportage, that was very challenging. But in that, we did an impactful story which questioned the theory that the Delhi police had given for the cause behind the violence. And because of our story, the police had to subsequently take a U-turn and go back on its initial theory on why the violence took place. So, and that entire thing, our story was cited in the court. So that was, a particularly impactful story for us.
Thank you for your answer, sir. So, my next question for you is you have worked with several prominent media outlets, including India Today and NDTV. How these experiences shaped your journalistic style?
Uh, I've been lucky in that sense. I've worked for very diverse kind of media houses. We have a legacy media house like India Today Group, and I've worked both with their print as well as their digital wings. Then I've also worked for Rajasthan Patrika, which is a regional media outlet, and now I'm with Quint, which is a startup. So in that sense, very diverse outfits these are, and it gave me a sort of overview of how the industry works. So yeah.
Thank you for your answer, sir. So, my next question for you is with the rise of misinformation, how do you ensure your reporting remains accurate and credible?
We have to verify at every stage, every claim that we are making or someone is making on our platform. We have to ensure that we are able to back that claim up. And if we are making an allegation against someone, we have to give a right of response to that person or that institution. So these are two things that that's I mean, there's a non-negotiable for any journalistic writing, for any reportage. So we follow this very rigorously, and I think so far, it has prevented us from falling for any misinformation.
Thank you for your answer, sir. So, my next question for you is you have covered election data extensively. What insights have you gained about the election process and its impacts on regional politics?
So elections, I realize after studying a lot of both electoral survey data as well as on the ground, elections are a very complex process. We often, people, especially journalists who are sitting in studios, they feel कि okay, इस पार्टी ने ये कैंडिडेट इस कास्ट का दे दिया या इन्होंने ये कम्युनल बात कह दी तो पूरी जनता पलट जाएगी, पर ऐसा होता नहीं है. It doesn't happen that way. Sometimes things are very complex. You can have someone who has, we have come across people who have certain viewpoints which will align with BJP, but on that election they're voting for Congress. And sometimes people who have been voting for Congress throughout their life suddenly start voting for BJP. So voters are very complex human beings. And I think the more one delves into data, the more one realizes how challenging it is to even try to predict elections in India.
Thank you for your answer, sir. So, my next question for you is, in your experience, how has the political landscape changed over the years, particularly regarding communal issues?
I think things have, I think as far as communalism is concerned, things have intensified greatly over the last 10 years or so. Communal remarks, communal hate speeches, which earlier used to be considered a very serious matter, now have become very common. People get away by making communal remarks. People get away with taking part in communal violence. So this is a very disturbing trend. And I don't think that law enforcement agencies are doing enough to hold people behind hate speeches and communal violence accountable.
That was a wonderful answer, sir. So, my next question for you is, can you discuss a challenge you faced while reporting on communal violence and how did you overcome it?
I think the biggest challenge is that every incident of communal violence has complex factors that have caused it. So, how do we present it and be objective and present all aspects? And also, sometimes the police in is not, we can't take the police's version as gospel truth. So, how do we arrive at the truth in such cases when you can't trust the authorities for doing a fair job? So, that is the biggest challenge we face. Ki what exactly happened in a particular instance of communal violence, and who exactly caused it, who carried out the violence, who instigated it. These are all sometimes very complex processes.
Looking ahead, what trends do you see shaping the future of political journalism in India?
I think political journalism in India is becoming increasingly tricky because parties are restricting access. Parties don't answer questions. And in this, I don't blame one party or the other. Across the board, parties have become less tolerant to questions and to dissent. So I think how political journalists navigate and come up with stories despite all this hostility from parties, I think that's where the trick lies in political journalism in future.
So, my last question for you is, what advice would you give to aspiring journalists who want to make an impact in field of political reporting?
I would say read a lot, but more than that, talk to people as much as possible. Travel on the ground, see how diverse the country is, see how diverse and complex the political landscape is, and then you'll get the pulse of the people. Once you do that, I think you will be able to write the right things, ask the right questions, and whatever you say will come with a great deal of depth, as opposed to the superficial, he said this and she said that, उन्होंने ये जवाब दिया और उस पे इनका हमला हुआ. That kind of journalism says you'll go much deeper and it'll become much more meaningful.
Thank you, Mr. Aditya, for sharing your insights and experience with us today. Your depth of knowledge on political journalism and the critical issues facing our society is truly enlightening. For our listeners, Mr. Aditya's journey serves as a reminder of a vital role journalism play in understanding and dialogue. We appreciate you to tuning in and we look forward to seeing you how your work continue to shape the conversation. Until next time, see you again.